Thanks, Mercedes. Set to jump. Red light on. Racing now. Centre Red began only fairly from its outside gate. In fact, it was last into stride. On the other hand, BYO the Grey began brilliantly. Boulder Sass in the first starter drives forward to challenge it for the lead. And going up outside, the pair was bit by bit. They stretch away that trio by about 4 lengths from Cheers for Osbrander, followed by Heart of the Mac, who wants to race greenly and shift away from the rail. Then Nice to Dream, Arno Bay. A couple of Exit Lounge. Centre Red spots them, I'd say 6 lengths start at the 800 metres. And Watch Me Dazzle them as last of all. Down the side, 700 metres left to Rana, and out in front, BYO leads away from bit by a neck. 2.5 away third, Boulder Sass and Heart of the Mac on the improver. Cheers for Osbrand outside that pair, 3 deep, then Arno Bay, followed by Nice to Dream. Now Thompson goes to the railer. He's riding for a bit of luck on Centre Red. Watch Me Dazzle on the other hand, circles wide, and Exit Lounge turns in last. Homeward bound in the first now, 300 metres left to go. BYO trying to kick. Boulder Sass and securing an inside run. Look at Tomo on Centre Red. He's weaved a passage onto the outside. Arno Bay joins them, heads them and dashes away. 100 metres left to go. Arno Bay in front. Boulder Sasson giving game chase. Arno Bay in front. Beat home Boulder Sasson. Centre Red third. Fourth photo. Watch Me Dazzle 'em or BYO. Then Nice to Dream, followed by Exit Lounge. A gap to Heart of the Mac. Cheers for Osbred. And trailing them home was Bit by Bit. Arno Bay, ridden by Stephen Wilson, sweeping down the centre of the track. Roy Chalemi, no stranger to success during the Cairns Amateur Carnivals, and he's kicked off, bang, first race with Arno Bay. And raced, of course, by Tom Headley in association with the McDonald family, Jay Cook and our Shoemaker. So a great start for Tom Headley and his merry band of owners. Proving too strong, Boulder Sasson has run well on debut. Centre Red was a clever ride by Tomo. He was a long way back, and rather than go wide, he probed for runs to the inside and got them, but wasn't quite good enough on the day. And will stand by for the 4th spot. So number 1, Arno Bay. Stephen Wilson, the winner. Having his 7th race start today. Former Victorians, only had the one other local run here. He ran during the Jockey Club Carnival in August, but he's been kept fresh and kept for this. Let's confirm these numbers. 1, 9, 3 and 5, 4th Watch Me Dazzle 'em, 1, 9, 3 and 5, and it was a neck by 3/4 of a length. A neck by 3/4 of a length. We'll have the time confirmed shortly. Arno Bay by Artie Schiller out of Kermis for Tom Headley, Jay Cook, B. McDonald, J. McDonald, J. McDonald, Ed McDonald and our Shoemaker, Roy Chalemi the trainer. Roy, of course, based at Atherton. That time was 1:15.06 and the sprint home 37.45. 1:15.06, 37.45. Second, Boulder Sasson by Zariz for Garner Taylor and Corey Bayliss, and third, Centre Red by Red Element for Janelle Ryan and Robert Thompson. Now we turn our attention to race 2 today, and this is the Quicksilver Handicap. It's a maiden, and it's a race that, not restricted as such, but I suppose it is. It's a race for lady riders, so all female riders in race 2. And keeping with the theme of the flavour, Australia's leading lady race caller Victoria Shaw will broadcast the second race for you at 1:37. Now in race 2 there are no scratchings or riding changes. Jockeys have returned after the first. They're about to weigh out and will stand by for correct weight on the first race of the 59th Cairns Amateurs.
So late scratching number 5, Mr. Sonador is out, unfortunately. Late scratching number 5. As we welcome Sky Channel and, of course, Sports Radio here. Good afternoon to all of our listeners and viewers here to Cairns. Cairns Amateurs, the 59th racing of the Cairns Amateurs program, and we're off and racing for the ladies' race. And one of the fancies, Lend Me a Tenner from the outside, got away to a good start there. Going forward there is Hunting up on the pace there as well. Fine and Divine showing a good set of heels there as they make their way down the side of the course. And leading here narrowly at this point, it's Crafty Blonde popping the nose in front, and now going forward there is Lend Me a Tenner. Still posted out deep here, and Lend Me a Tenner for Hannah English now finds the rail. Takes up the front running position here, Fine and Divine into second position. Crafty Blonde going forward over on the outside into third. That length and a half as we'll beat it as they race their way towards the 400. Hunting is next on the inside rail from Wicked Mistress. Between runners there is City Secrets and last of all Galaxy Polo. Into the home straight here with about 250 metres to travel here. Lend Me a Tenner on the inside rail. Leads here by about a long neck at this point. Coming close is Fine and Divine. Fine and Divine only about a head separates from first and second, and a late go Will Beat It late down the outside. Can Will Beat It bridge the DAC? Fine and Divine puts the nose in front, but Will Beat It gets up here on the line. Will Beat It a full length there on the line from Fine and Divine. The early leader then Lend Me a Tenner knocked up for third. Then behind them we had next in the run would have been a Crafty Blonde. Back nearer the inside was Hunting. The yellow and purple colours of City Secret. Wicked Mistress outposted deep. Also in that group going over the line, one of the last there would have been Galaxy Polo and L4, and one of the last in. So just having a look for the race time that they've posted. And we'll just wait there. But Emma Lung successful here with Will Beat It. $2 on Unibet when they jumped. $1 the place, Fine and Divine second. And Lend Me a Tenner, which had good support, given the unfortunate scratching of Mr. Sonador, Zoe White's mount, that played up a fair bit and unfortunately couldn't participate in the race. But congratulations there to Will Beat It. Interim dividends at the moment, numbers 3, 7 and 4 here at Cairns. So 3, 7 and 4, fourth in number 9, fifth in number 10, and officially sixth is number 6. 3, 7, 4 and 9 official are the numbers you need. And the margin there between second and third, a half by 3/4, a half by 3/4 in a time overall 56.36. 56.36 the overall race time here for the 950, 56.36 for the 950. And just having a look for some dividends to pop up on the screen for you shortly. So We'll Beat It. Ben Williams training at Charters Towers. Emma Long taking the ride here, the 58 kilos. And 3-year-old Chestnut gelding side by Wicked Style out of a Kenny's Best Palmare Ultrama, bred by Mr. K. Thompson, owned and raced by Mrs. S. Hammer. Congratulations, it's We'll Beat It, breaking its maiden here this afternoon on its 13th outing. Certainly a couple of good races prior or early on its career, given it had previously 12 race starts. And We'll Beat It here saluting. Thanks to Quicksilver and Cutis with the 3-year-old maiden handicap here this afternoon. Race 2 on our Cairns Amateurs program. So as our riders and runners here make their way back to the enclosure after the completion of the Quicksilver Cutis 3-year-old maiden handicap. And congratulations to TAB number 3, Will Beat It, for Ben Williams and Emma Long combining here this afternoon. So as our jockeys and horses make their way back to the enclosure after the completion of the Quicksilver Cutis 3-year-old maiden handicap, we're on standby for correct weight, of course. Our jockeys have to weigh in, and we'll post that as soon as it is available. So certainly interim dividends for the moment after the completion of race 2.
of movement there in centre field. Now there's the light, ready to jump. Race 3, Cannon Park, they're racing, and Tibian was slow out of the gates, came out last. Apart from that, a great rush out, showing early speed. Rose of Clare with Mini Street and Effigy Bell, cap it off wide. No Biting is driving up, and just behind them early was Chat Time. Then Craig Lialdi, followed by Phantom Socks. Getting back in the field was Dunny Star. A long way back was Pincer Strike, second last, and 6 away Tibian last. 500 left to run, and the leader was Mini Street, led from Effigy Bell on the outside. Rose of Clare was third. Craig Lialdi fourth, then came No Biting, cap it off right off the track, Dunny Star just behind them, then came Chat Time, Pincer Strike trying to thread the needle, then Phantom Socks, Egyptiana, and last of all was Tibiana, down by the 200 metres. Effigy Bell was trying to get Mini Street, who's bombing in front, and Craig Lialdi starts to loom and loom large. They're at the 50 metres. Craig Lialdi, Effigy Bell, they got to Mini Street, and Craig Lialdi too strong, beat Effigy Bell, third over the line Mini Street, and Pincer Strike is fourth. Then Rose of Clare, followed by Chat Time, No Biting, Phantom Socks. Then came Egyptian, Dunny Star, cap it off, and Tibian after a slow start saw them all home. Craig Lialdi the winner. Number 10, Wanderson de Villa for local trainer Alwyn Bailey. As we mentioned prior to the jump, there was a move for it late on UBet Fixed, and that move was a smart one. Came with a strong run. Mini Street was trying to hang on, but then Effigy Bell got to it. But then Craig Lialdi laid down the law to Effigy Bell over the last 20 metres and pulled clear to score, with Pincer Strike in fourth position after being a long way back and threading his way through the field, but never really looked a winning possibility. Craig Lialdi by Longhorn out of Gennady is raced by R. Green, A. Bailey, Mrs. M. Johnston, trained by Alwyn Bailey, based here in Cairns, and Wanderson de Villa, the winning jockey. Now the judges confirmed the result, 10, 13, 1 and 3. 10, Craig Lialdi, Wanderson de Villa first. 13, Effigy Bell, Hannah Phillips second. 1 is third, Mini Street, Amanda Thompson. And 3 was fourth, Pincer Strike. A neck by neck to margins, a neck by neck. And the time was 55.14, 55.14, and the sprint home 34.6. So Craig Lialdi finished down the line at Innisfail a few weeks ago after running third here during the Jockey Club Carnival. It was a Mariba winner 3 runs ago, and now takes its record to 4 wins from 37 starts. And as we outlined, didn't go unnoticed in the betting. Now race 4 today is the Reef Hotel Casino Governor's Trophy. This race over 1,600 metres at 2:47. And in race 4 there are no scratchings and no riding changes. The Governor's Trophy will be broadcast by Victoria Shaw as we stand by for correct weight now on the Yellow Glen Handicap.
and the favourite We Just Love It to the outside. 1,600 metres a journey here for the Reef Hotel Casino Governor's Trophy. As we welcome our viewers on Sky Channel and of course Mercedes on radio here in Queensland. And we're off and racing at the Cairns Amateurs for race number 4. And a good start too down on the inside. Pretty Vacant was one of the first to get going out of the gates with Vaunting, who stamped on the pace and wants to lead early here. So it's Vaunting who took up the front running position as they put the 1,400 metre mark behind them now. How Can I Help now in a second position, now ushered up over on the outside. A length and a half next we see at this point there is Honest Friend into third. To the outside there is Changing Notes, probably about 2 lengths clear at this point of Pretty Vacant. Stanford is next, about fourth last there at this point. The favourite We Just Love It as they race their way down the back of the course is back third last. Just in advance of Gold Cufflinks, who now looms up over on its outside. And leaving behind last of all is Royal Supreme. They're stretched out here at Cairns in the fourth event of the day. Probably about 12 lengths covers them from top to tail here. And out in front, it's How Can I Help, who leads the field here by about a length and a half to 2 at the 800 metre mark. Vaunting's just stalking him all the way, waiting for the run. Next there on the inside, it's Honest Friend, who's now starting to lose a bit of ground. Making a move there is Changing Notes, and Stanford looms up large now to grab hold of third. Putting the 600 metre mark behind them now. Gold Cuffling starts to plot a path there over on the outside. Joining in is the favourite there. He's got about 4 or 5 lengths to make out there, posted about 4 deep. That's We Just Love It as they race their way through the 400. Next the run behind him there is Royal Supreme as they turn the corner and head for home. And into the straight on the inside at this point, it's How Can I Help, who leads narrowly here. The white cap aboard Vaunting. The favourite's got a fair bit of ground to make up here. Changing Notes now in a third position. And here comes We Just Love It. We Just Love It's posted 4 wide here when they race in search of the line. About 70 metres to travel here. Still hanging on, it's Vaunting, and going over the top of them there is the favourite We Just Love It from Vaunting. Not much in it. Then behind them, back nearer the inside, would have been Honest Friend. A wall of horses then over on the outside next. The purple colours of Changing Notes. Then would have been Gold Cuffling. Stanford just taking their trail behind them there. Further to Pretty Vacant. And going over there, one of the last would be Royal Supreme. So We Just Love It here for Robert Thompson, the favourite getting up here. $3 on Unibet, $1.40 that plays Vaunting second, and How Can I Help third. So 6, 4 and 5 here at Cairns for the Reef Hotel Casino Governor's Trophy. Certainly Robert Thompson just sitting off the pace here as How Can I Help took up the front running position. They weren't that keen to go too fast earlier in the piece, and We Just Love It sitting back third and fourth last for much of the way, and at the top of the lane coming out there about 4 or 5 deep, and on the inside the early leader there, How Can I Help, going down as We Just Love sailed over the top of them. So as our riders and runners here return back to scale, 6, 4 and 5 official, fourth in number 1, 6, 4, 5 and 1, 1 length by 3/4 of a length, 1 length by 3/4 of a length, and a time of 35.33, 35.33. So certainly our punters there, very, very helpful indeed. The overall race time, 1:36.69, 1:36.69, 35.33 the time for the last 600 metres. So 35.33 the last 600. 1:36.69 the overall race time for the mile here at Cairns. So Robert Thompson, who of course loves racing up here at the Cairns Amateurs. And congratulations to Janelle Ryan, training at Atherton, a 4-year-old chestnut gelding side by Love Conquers All, out of a Hennessy mare, Husnea, owned and raced by JVD Adona, LR Zachreeson and AV Rudd. Congratulations to the team there with We Just Love It. Bred by Mr. N. Jones, Robert Thompson, our victorious jockey here, taking at the Reef Hotel Casino Governor's Trophy. As we stand by for our riders and runners now back to make their way to the enclosure, and shortly after correct weight, we'll have the presentation with Bart Sinclair in the mounting yard.
Light is on. They're set. Starter's got them. Hits the button. They're off. Decoded off the inside, began well every Friday, was nicely away. Rose of Colony showing early speed with Voltaic, and Royal Standing's not too far away. Imperial Bell in that bunch, followed by Princess Siderius, Illy Lily. Going around them wide, Tickets to Ride. Royal Standing got some interference, lost a length or two. It's now in the second half of the field with the Bee's Knees, and the stablemates of the tail end pair, She's a Ringo and Who's the Star. Up by the half mile, and the leader was Every Friday. From on the outside, Rose of Colony. Now joining in three wide, Princess Aderius, Tickets to Ride. It's out on the cheap seats, 4 deep in the leading division. Voltaic just behind them in fifth as they leave the 600 metres. Decoded 6 to the rail, about 3 off them. Followed by, coming around them wide, was the Bee's Knees. A gap in the field then to Imperial Bell. Royal Standing, he's hard at it in fourth last position. Then came Who's the Star. Illy Lily's a mile back, and She's a Ringo is last. Up the straight, 250 left to run. Every Friday tackled by Decoded, off the fence to challenge. The Bee's Knees joining in, and the widest runner is Imperial Bell. Soon afterwards, the Bee's Knees and Imperial Bell paired off. The Bee's Knees going a little better than Imperial Bell. The Bee's Knees beat Imperial Bell. Royal Standing third, Decoded fourth, followed then by She's a Ringo, Voltaic, and Who's a Star. A gap to Every Friday, Rose of Colony, then Tickets to Ride. Well back was Princess Siderius, and Illy Lily was out at the tail end. The Bee's Knees, Wanderson de Villa for Scott Cooper. Coming with a well-timed run. Imperial Bell, I thought, was going to issue a real challenge, but in the end, the Bee's Knees had a bit to spare, and that gives Wanderson a riding double. He scored on Craig Lealdi in the Yellow Glen handicap and has now made it a riding double. Successful on the Bee's Knees, beating Imperial Bell, and it looks as though Royal Standing has just snatched third spot in front of Decoded, who was there to strike at the right time but couldn't come on with it over the last 100 metres or so. The Bee's Knees, the 5-year-old chestnut mare by Jet Spur out of Manuka Honey. Raced by Scott Cooper, Mrs. J. Cooper, Mrs. G. Martin, Mr. D. Martin, Mr. J. Oliver, and Miss H. Torpy. And that's her second win at start 14. Imperial Bell by Magic Albert, Michael McClellan and Chris Whiteley. And Royal Standing third by Stratum for Albie Molino and Corey Bayliss. 8, 10, 1 and 2. 2 was fourth. Half a length by 2 3/4 lengths. A half by 2 3/4. They ran 1:14.12 and home in 36.23. Placegetter is about to return after the Class 1 handicap, and thanks to Alsco for their generous sponsorship. Now we go to race 6, the Cairns Key Real Estate Class 3 handicap, 1,400 metres at 4:05. And there are no scratchings or riding changes. Placegetter is returning now after the 5th race today, and we'll stand by for the notification of correct weight. Weight to come, race 5. Starter is on the stand. The red light is switched on. We're ready to jump. Stand by. Line looks to be right. They're off. Brave Bow, Hitch 'em Up began well, so too did Wild Diva. Shot of Courage fast away, and Riley Saga off a wide gate showing speed. Flinch will land about sixth with Amuletto in seventh, followed then by Olsen, and then came Flying One More. Al Kapow off the wide gate going around the wide space time. He settles back in the second half of the field, then about 4 or 5 lengths to Kaylee, and Capadadia is 2 lengths away last of all. 900 metres left to run. Brave Bow the inside and Wild Diva the outer, and they're joint leaders. Matching motors from Shot of Courage, who gets a gun run in third. Racing fourth, Riley Saga. Amuletto on the way forward, but wide. Oh, one's broken down there. Olsen has got a miss, drop back through the field. Going around the outside was Al Kapow, they're followed by Flying One More. Then came Flinch. Space time still 6 off them, with 500 metres left to go. Well back was Capitaneer, and out of the tail was Kaylee. On the approach to the turn, 400 left to run. Amuletto has made a long and searching run and ran to the lead. Riley Saga in second. Brave Bow's immediately under pressure. They're followed then by Flying One More. Behind them came Hitch 'em Up, and down the outside Space Time. Even wider was Capitaneer from a mile back. Meanwhile, Amuletto is clinging on grimly. Riley Saga is trying hard now, drawing level. And then came Hitch 'em Up to the inside. Capitaneer is flying late. Big finish coming up. Riley Saga just in front and won. Riley Saga has beaten either Capitaneer or Hitch 'em Up, followed by Amuletto, Space Time. Then came at the head of the others was Flying One More and Flinch, and Al Kapow, Shot of Courage, Kaylee, and Brave Bow knocked up quickly with Wild Diva. Sadly, Olsen went a miss near the 600 metres and hasn't completed the track. Riley Saga for Alwyn Bailey and Corey Bayliss. Alwyn had Craigley Aldi winning earlier on. And this time it's Riley Saga on the speed all the way and looks to have just held off Capitaneer, who put in a dive late. Hitch 'em Up will be third. Amuletto will be fourth. Jockey of Olsen is up and okay. That's good to see because he was in the middle of the field. That's Wanderson de Villa. He's okay. Unfortunately, Olsen going a miss just near the 600 metre mark. Now here are the numbers confirmed after the Cairns Key Real Estate Handicap. Number 11, Riley Saga. Corey Bayliss the winner. 10 second, Capitaneer. Chelsea Jokic, it came from a mile back. 2 third, Hitch 'em Up, Chris Whiteley. And 4, Amuletto ran fourth. 11-10-2-4. 11-10-2-4. They ran 124-25 and home in 36-79. Riley Saga, a 5-year-old brown mare by Real Saga out of Huss on Fire, is raced by A. Bailey, Mrs. C. Green and R. Green for Alwyn Bailey. Corey Bayliss the winning jockey. It was a long head by a short head. Long head, short head, 124.25. The sprint home, 36.79. Capitaneer second by Captain Sunador for John Rowan and Chelsea Jokic. And third was Hitch 'em Up by Hinchinbrook for Steve Massingham and Chris Whiteley. Runners are returning now after race 6. That leaves one race to go on Ladies' Day, the final event, race 7. It's the Carlton Mid Open Handicap. It's over the short distance, 950 metres, and post time is 4:42. In the last, the scratchings are 7 Choi Oi, 11 Wishful, 14 Effigy Bell, and 15 or 16 Strictly Magic. 7, 11, 14 and 16 out of the last 12 to run. No riding changes. It goes at 4:42. Wait to come, race number 6. Set to go on the last at Cannon Park. Stand by. These are seasoned handicappers. And there is the light. Ready to jump. They're off. It was a great line out. Anzus out wide, one of the first to go with Concluder. Platinum Tycoon is showing speed, and so is Wrapped in Rumba. He was about 4th away, then One Bar None, Lover of Life, Caddy in the Jet, followed by Maurizio Accidental, a long way back Pinata, Royal Occasion, and Sporting Page is last of all. 600 left to run. Anzus outside of Concluder. They spear clear by 2.5. Wrapped in Rumba 3rd. One Bar None was 4th. Platinum Tycoon is 5th, just being urged along to improve his position. Caddy the Jet is trying to go with him, and then came Lover of Life, followed by Maurizio Accidental, Sporting Page, Pinata and Royal Occasion. Up the straight for the last time today. 250 left to run. Anzus took a clear lead. Wrapped in Rumba was next, then One Banana. Caddy and the Jet starts to run on wider. Platinum Tycoon. Anzus, he's on empty with 100 metres to go. Caddy and the Jet. Caddy and the Jet. Flew and won. Beat One Banana. 3rd Anzus. Sporting Page was next. Platinum Tycoon seemed to have his chance. Then Accidental, followed by Wrapped in Rumba, then Concluder, Maurizio, Royal Occasion, Lover of Life, and Pinata is last over the line. Caddy and the Jet, well, he came with a jet-propelled run, and Wanderson de Villa wraps up a fat day at the office. He's won 3 of the 7 races. For Lyle Wright, Mackay-based trainer, and Caddy and the Jet zooming home to win the final race today. He was positioned in about 6th spot, and you could see that he was making his run with the favourite Platinum Tycoon coming to the turn, but he left Platinum Tycoon in his wake and then sprinted clear to score from One Bar None. Anzus should hold on for 3rd, and probably Platinum Tycoon 4th, just in front of Sporting Page, but we'll have all of those placings confirmed shortly on the last race today. No doubt about the winner, Caddy and the Jet. Here are the numbers: 9, 3, 6 and 1. Number 9 is the winner. 9 first, Caddy and the Jet, Wanderson de Villa. 3 is second, One Bar None, Bonnie Thompson. 3rd is 6, Anzus, Zoe White. And 1/4, Sporting Page. And it was a length and a quarter by a short half head. 1 1/4 by a short half head. The judges confirmed them 9, 3, 6 and 1 on the last. The winner, raced by D. Tamblin, D. Byers, P. Ingerman, C. Cook, D. Cook, Mrs. J. Tamblin, DJ Tamblin, a 6-year-old chestnut gelding for Lyle Wright and Wanderson de Villa. 54.8 the time, and the sprint home was 34.54. 54.8, 34.54. Second, One Bar None by All Bar One for Bub Baker and Bonnie Thompson. And 3rd was Anzus, who was on the speed all the way by Warpass for Olivia Cairns and Zoe White. Sporting Page ran 4th. It was a good run. He was back with the cap catchers. And Platinum Tycoon seemed close enough, if good enough, and he's run in 5th position. So they're the placings on the last race. The runners are now returning to the enclosure. And we'll stand by for the notification of correct weight on the Carlton Mid Handicap.